In case you missed it over the weekend, something massive happened in the sport of professional bass fishing. Tucker Smith of the Bassmaster Elite Series just took one of the biggest, nastiest, steamiest shits right over the top of all those block and tier, forward-facing sonar haters across the world, and he won $500,000. But there's a little bit of controversy here. Tucker Smith cheated?
Cheater box.
Nah, I'm just kidding. No forward-facing sonar was allowed in this event. 100% scope-free. You might have missed it because it was kind of an obscure, crazy, wild, high payout tournament. I'm going to tell you in this video what happened and why it was very, very important to the sport and what's going to happen here moving forward as these rules keep on getting crazier and crazier. Let's dive into it. So first off, before I go any further, before I dive into what is going to happen with these rules and the changes and what you're going to see from a lot of these young anglers that have been told they can't fish without forward-facing sonar, I want to take a second to say congratulations to Tucker Smith, one of my favorite anglers on tour. I've met him, I met him actually at the Bass Pro US Open. I think it was 5 years ago now, when I fished out with Zark. Him and Logan Parks fished a tournament. You guys know what happened. They won $1 million. No one that actually knows what's going on in the industry is surprised by this. Tucker won, I think, 3 high school national championships. He was very dominant in college. I think he lost the championship in college to Easton Fothergill, and the bracket got bumped out to make the Bassmaster Classic. Of course, he's going to make plenty of classics like the one he just made. Tucker has been an exceptional fisherman, and he now is the two-time $500,000 winner. I don't know how many people in the world can say that in professional fishing. Tucker's like 12 years old, and he can already say he's done it twice. So shout out to you, Tucker. Huge win for you. Let's talk about the tournament a little bit, because I'll be completely honest with you guys. I heard about this tournament way back in like January or February when it first kind of started to get some legs under it. I mean, it had legs under it. It was planned already. But I honestly, when I heard about it, I thought that it was probably not going to happen because of the numbers they were throwing around. $500,000 for first place is nothing to scoff at. And the payouts after that were insane. Lee texted me. Lee Livesey, shout out to Lee, got 5th. 5th place got 50 grand. That's wild. That's what payouts probably should be, honestly, in my opinion, based on, where the sport should be over just inflation, since it was so much bigger 20 years ago. The payout was wild. I didn't think it was a real thing because all you had to do was buy a membership for $500, and then they had a bunch of different criteria for how you could qualify. I'm pretty sure I qualified a few different ways if I would have put my money in. Also, I was fishing the US Open out west, and so I was planning on fishing that for a long time. I knew that, and this happened at the same time. Turned out pretty good for me. I was happy with it. But when I first got word of this tournament, I didn't think that it was actually going to happen, because it was the rumors started kind of flying. Who's involved with this? Is Major League Fishing putting this on? Because Boyd Duckett's name gets thrown around because it's on Guntersville. A lot of it was apparently some of the money came from the Alabama state government. Boyd has his hands in a lot of stuff, rightly so, in the Guntersville area. People joke that he owns everything on and around the lake. So I thought maybe that was part of it. I still think maybe it was. I have literally no idea. So let's look at this. And the only place you can find anything about this Ultimate Angler Championship is on their Facebook page. So really, just when you click on the event here, it says the Ultimate Angler World Championship makes a historic milestone in bass fishing tournaments, bringing together anglers from all leagues to compete for the ultimate title of a world champion. Unified Pros, in collaboration with the state of Alabama, will host the event on the magnificent Lake Guntersville at Goose Pond Colony in Scottsboro, Alabama, October 5th to 11th. Basically, it was a 3-day tournament, was the premise of this. 5-fish limit, just like we do in the Elite Series. And Mark Davis, I saw, was running the weigh-in. That was awesome to see him up there again. And man, the names that were on this list of anglers that came and fished it were incredible. We go over to the results here. You'll see what I'm talking about. Randy Howe, Lee Livesey, Jacob Wall, Hayden Marbut, Kyle Norsetter, Alex Davis, Ron Nelson, Kyle Welcher, Buddy Gross, Emil Wagner, Jared Lintner, Hank Cherry, all these dudes, Fletcher Shryack, Cal Lane, Edwin Evers, Andy Montgomery, Roy Hawk, people from all around the country came out. Chad Mrazek, he's winning everything around here. He's a 6th Sense dude and around the country. He's freaking dominant. Hunter Shryack, Carter Nutt, who's an amazing fisherman on the Tennessee River chain, Dakota Ebert, of course, Corey Johnston, Chris Johnson, we got the Johnstons in there, Chris Lane, who's a local, and Bobby Lane, Bobby Bakewell, excellent fisherman down there. Of course, Jordan Lee, Gerald Swindle, Justin Lucas, Jay Shakurit. And I mean, Takahiro, you go down the list, guys. It's Patrick Walters. It's guys that are, you know, the best guys on the Elite Series, Bass Pro Tour, local guys that win. I think if you were a BFO winner, an All-American, or a regional, or a Toyota winner, I think those guys got in or got invites. Jody White, Banks Shaw, who just won the Invitational Angler of the Year. One of the best fishermen in the country right now. Scott Canterbury, Caleb Summerall. I mean, no offense to anybody I'm forgetting. Louis Fernandez, excellent NPFL. Laker Howell just won the Open. Rasmussen just about won the Classic 2 years ago. I mean, as far down as you want to go on the list, John Cox, Robert G., Justin Hamner, Ott Defoe, Brent Myers, Pat Schlapper, Alex Redwine. I mean, these are household names. Will Davis Jr., Matt Becker. These are the best fishermen in the world that are fishing this tournament. And so, Dylan Nutt, there's another one, his brother, Carter Nutt's brother, was really an assembly of some of the best. I was not there because, like I said, I didn't ever buy into it. I didn't think that it was going to happen. And honestly, I don't have much experience on Guntersville. Not that I did on Lake Mojave out west in the U.S. Open, but I really want to fish that tournament. And maybe if they do this again next year, it'll be something that we jump into. So, 3 days, you know, let's go back up to the top of the leaderboard. Tucker wins with 71.6 over 3 days over Jacob Wall, local, 64.10. So he wins by a little bit under 7 pounds. So huge win for Tucker. Randy Howell's right there in third. You know, Randy lives on the lake in that area. I don't know who Cody Ross is. Apologies, Lee's there. Top 9 guys all had 20-plus pounds a day. Now, one would think, since the Ultimate Angler Championship announced this tournament, from the very start they've been saying no forward-facing sonar. We're not using forward-facing sonar in this event. It's a one-off event without forward-facing sonar. They've talked about it with all their live coverage. They've talked about it in all their posts. They talk about it when Tucker Smith won this tournament. They made announcement posts. You would sure think there wouldn't be any smooth-brained boomers in the comments section talking trash to kids 50 years younger than them because they hate their life, right? No, it's 2025, folks. That's not how we work in the fishing industry. Let's take a look at a comment right now. Old Rich Booger Bugle says, make sure all you big screens are clean and your multiple sonars are working or you probably wouldn't be able to catch any fish at all. You guys aren't fishing anymore. You're playing a video game and picking out your catch. Good feedback there, Rich. I love the comments after this. Trent Coyle says, scopes banned. What else do you have to say? You have nothing about this tournament. Think before you speak. This is great. I mean, it's good job. Goober, yeah, perfect. I love stupid. You just won the Ultimate Keyboard Warrior Championship. Congratulations. That's a good one, Jeff. Hey, dipshit, no live scope allowed in this one. Try again, loser. I'm kind of curious. Let's look at the likes. Oh, that's great right there. The 3 people that liked it are Squirting Mama, Hot Mama, and Terry Susan. I mean, you can't make this up, guys. It just seems like these comments are just bots to freaking stir shit up. There's real people, I think, that have these brilliant ideas and just straight up obvious false claims. But when you see stuff like that, of course, the people that laughed at it are real people. But the other 3, I'm going to go ahead and say, Terry might be real, even though they got a first name as a last name. Probably not. It's mind-blowing to see the stupidity. Now, I didn't make this video because I'm trying to talk you guys into forward-facing sonar needs to be the way of the future, or that you need to change your stance on it if you don't like forward-facing sonar, or that you even need to respect forward-facing sonar. But as someone that's kind of representing the couple of younger classes of anglers on the Bassmaster Elite Series, someone that sees the work that goes into this stuff from the inside, not just running my mouth on the keyboard on social media, on the outside, I know how hard these guys work and how good of fishermen they are with forward-facing, without forward-facing, and how that's going to affect everything moving forward. It does not bother me when people go and comment on my videos saying that I can't catch fish and I suck without forward-facing, whatever, because I don't care, because I have, you know, years and years of videos without using forward-facing. Even, I mean, I have videos now not using forward-facing all the time. And so it doesn't bother me. I'm a grown man. I can take that. I'm 36 years old now. But when you see people like Tucker Smith or Trey McKinney or Easton Fothergill or Logan Parks, or name your under 30-year-old pro, and there's all these brilliant freaking commentators typing, and this isn't the worst part, but they're typing that they suck, they can't catch without forward facing. But the people that are, you know, making videos to make profit, talking about how these anglers aren't good, they don't have the aptitude to compete without technology, that there should be an asterisk next to their freaking Bassmaster Classic wins or any win because of technology, when I know what's actually going on, that pisses me off for those guys. I don't care for myself, but for those guys, that's a little bit ridiculous. I was listening to Mercer's podcast with Todd Castledon the other day, and Todd made a few points that I think we should bring up and talk about. And Todd's point was one that comes from a very rational place. And obviously Todd knows bass fishing. If you don't know him, he's been around the sport for a long time, for decades now. Texas Hammer down here, has fished at the AAA level, had an opportunity. He's fished on the tour level with FLW, but opportunity to fish the Elite Series, wins local stuff. And he made a few points that said, you know, this was before the tournament happened, of course, but he made some points that basically said, you know, let's see over the course of a season what these changes will be on the Elite Series now that it is half and half. 4 tournaments, or I guess it's 5 tournaments with it, 4 tournaments without it, because that is going to show us that the anglers that are younger or just good with forward-facing sonar, they're going to struggle over a course of time. I agree with Todd on a lot of his things that he said, a lot of his points, but I do disagree with being able to notice any recognizable difference. I've seen these anglers, I've fished with them, I've fished next to them. These guys are fucking amazing no matter what they're doing. I can't believe the negativity that gets drawn when you bring up the 2 words, Trey McKinney. I promise you, if we could only take out those little floaty unicorns and fish with a Barbie rod with 1 bait, with no sonar, and that's what you get each day, Trey McKinney would rise to the top over the course of time. He might not rise above Chris Johnson, apparently, because he's gotten second to him twice in Angler of the Year. Trey would catch them better than anyone else because he's got an it factor that I don't know that anybody else has. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. If you're a grown man and you're very unhappy that someone that's younger than you chased their dreams and is better at something than you, that's okay. You'll probably get through it. If not, then I suggest you at least stay off the internet because you're going to be made to look pretty stupid. Trust me, I'm to the point, like, I do not care what's going to be used next year. I really wish that people, I just want to not talk about it or hear about it anymore because it's embarrassing what it's done to our sport. My opinion is the perception of forward-facing sonar is the problem here, not the actual truth of what forward-facing sonar. And what I mean by that is the people commenting about it that don't know about it, that want to make excuses for why someone's catching more fish than them, especially because they're younger, those comments are what's worse than the actual technology by a freaking long shot. And unfortunately, we have grown men that have made channels and careers by building up an army of other old boomers that don't have any factual evidence behind any of the claims they're making, but want to tear down anybody that's actually doing it and at the top level and carrying the sport and growing the sport and promoting these products and these technologies and these baits and these companies, some of the same companies they're involved with. They want to tear them down for their own financial good, and that's absolutely fucked in my opinion. Back to the comments from Todd. I do disagree with some of the results comments that he's talking about, because when you look at what the tournaments are next year, and you look at the 5 with, 4 without, whatever, forward-facing sonar, you're going to see different results. You're going to see guys do good that are good with scope. You're going to see guys do bad that are good with scope. You're going to see guys that can't use a scope or aren't any good at it, do good in tournaments with it, without it, whatever. My point is, you're not going to be able to notice who is doing well because of what, because everyone is so apt at it. There's not a group of 3 or 4 or 5 guys that are elite at live scope, and then there's like 70 guys that are like okay at it, and then there's the bottom guys that can't use it at all. It's not like that anymore. It's not the second year that we've had live scope. It's 10 years in now, damn near. I can tell you there's like 50 guys that are elite with forward-facing sonar on the Elite Series. And then there's another 40 guys that are like very good, very good. The top 50 guys are good enough to win with it. The next 40 guys are probably good enough to get a top 10 or check in every tournament with it. And then there's probably only 10 guys that, I mean, just are hard-headed to it and aren't going to use in that tournament, whether they're good at it or not. It's just, you're not going to see that. And I'll show you, let's look at some tournament results and see what I'm talking about. So let's look at Lake St. Clair this last year, 2025, Trey McKinney wins the tournament. Oh my God, the sky's falling. Young anglers are going to win every tournament forever, and live scope's the only way to win a tournament, right? Well, that's interesting to say. I mean, obviously, you look at the top 10 guys, you're going to see a lot of guys that are very apt with it. But let's go down here to the bottom guys like me. I'm not going to comment on how I am with forward facing. I feel like I don't suck too bad at it. Tyler Rivette. I'd say people would say he's excellent with forward-facing sonar. Jacob Fouts, excellent with forward-facing sonar, one of the best that there is on tour. Bryant Smith, excellent with it. Shane LaHue, excellent with it. And sorry for leaving some people's names off. Robert G, one of the best on tour with it. Luke Palmer's great with it. Kenta's great with it. I mean, guys that are great with it in a forward-facing sonar dominated tournament, all top 10 guys were using forward-facing sonar, still finish near the bottom, because that happens. Guys just don't do well in tournaments like I didn't because they didn't get the right bites, they lost them, or 27 people were on their spot, whatever. You're just not going to be able to see differences in these results based on forward-facing sonar, not forward-facing whatever. Let's keep on going. Let's go down to another one. Here is probably the least used forward-facing sonar tournament from our 2025 season, the Sabine River, the beautiful Sabine River. I mean, look right there towards the top. Pat Schlopper, a lot of guys don't know this because he's got some gray hairs like I do. Pat is an excellent live scope fisherman. Patrick Walters, one of the best. Koya, probably the best on tour. Taku, easily top 5 on tour. Kyle Welcher won a tournament this year using forward facing at the Pasquotank. Cooper Gallant, obviously excellent with it. I mean, so you got guys that are excellent with forward facing sonar also up there. And then you got guys that are, you know, great shallow water river fishermen. If you go to the bottom, we got, you know, Greg Hackney, Gerald Swindle, Keith Combs, Ed Loughran, Blake Capps. I mean, guys that are traditional, Drew Benton, Jason Williamson, guys that are not super heavy lenient on forward-facing sonar. Their skill set is shallow water power fishing for a lot of the most part. They're towards the bottom. So, I mean, that's just what you're going to see moving forward. I don't know how many more results I need to show you guys. Let's look at the Mississippi River at La Crosse, I guess. Again, another shallow water tournament without forward facing. I'm probably less of that used even here than there was at Sabine, potentially. Pat Schlopper, again, wins it because he had an amazing year, of course. I mean, you can't say guys like Jay Shakurit, Koya, Tucker Smith, Cooper Gallant. I mean, Corey, of course, is great with forward facing. And then you got guys towards the back of the pack that are amazing shallow water fishermen too. Patrick Walters got 84th. What are we going to say he is? Is he good with forward facing? Is he good with regular fishing? Obviously it's both, but what are we going to classify these guys as? I mean, you got dudes that are excellent shallow water fishermen there at the bottom of the list as well, from 80 place on. So I don't know, guys. I'm just, like I said, I'm not trying to talk you guys into liking forward facing. I'm not going to try to talk you guys into thinking that we should have it for all the tournaments and not have it for any tournaments, or we should ban it altogether, whatever. I don't really care. I just want you to know Tucker Smith's win was one of many that's already happened without forward facing. It's just 100% proof of it. It's just what you guys are going to see with results moving forward. I know, if you hate forward facing, if you hate these young anglers, it would just make your fucking life so much better if these guys did terrible next year in the 4 tournaments without it. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Some of them will. Some of them will do bad. Some of them will do okay. Some of them will do great. Some will win. Some will get last place. It's how this is going to go. There's an unbelievable amount of parity on the Elite Series. Guys are great at everything. Unfortunately for the people that have to sit back and watch that don't understand that they're excellent at everything, I don't think I have too much more other than congratulations Tucker Smith. I hope they do this tournament and many one-off tournaments like this, because this is so good for the sport of bass fishing. A $500,000 payday. That's unbelievable. That's what the Classic used to be. That's what the Forcewood Cup used to be. It was $1 million before. At times, like, we need these big payouts because anglers are hurting. Companies are hurting in the industry, and this is one way to incentivize them to actually get out and make a little bit of money. Congratulations, Tucker Smith. We'll catch you guys with an actual fishing video in the next couple days. Peace.